Welcome to the Creative Business Community Podcast, where creativity meets business. I'm Erin Madeley, and each week we'll share stories, tips, and inspiration to help you grow your creative business. Let's dive in.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hi, Erin. Welcome back.
Oh, I don't know if we should talk about welcome back because this is releasing in February.
Oh, well, you're back.
I am back.
From a long holiday.
From a long holiday.
So even though other people didn't realise it, we took a bit of a break from recording the podcast.
So we're currently recording this on, what's the date today? The 2nd of February. The episode will release in a couple of weeks. But all the episodes you've been listening to over the December and January period, we recorded them quite a while ago.
Yeah, nice and early. We recorded a few on a day, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so excuse us if our voices don't work the way that they normally do.
Or if we have more weirdness. More weirdness than usual.
You can have more
weirdness. But we're coming to you from our new studio setup.
Yes.
And this is also going to be the first podcast episode we release onto YouTube.
I know, because we finally have a nice little space that we can use.
Yeah.
That's got a bit of better lighting than the last one.
More comfortable, I think. We got new chairs.
Yes, we went to IKEA. It was fun.
Yeah, so we're not cramped into the corner of my office, which is what we were before. Big shout out to the team for setting this up because I arrived back with this done and I did not have to be involved, which made me...
It was a huge move around. It was
made me very happy.
It looks nice.
It does. And we've got a little place here for our beverages and I've got a cup of tea that Sarah made me, which is great.
I've got a coffee that I made for myself.
It smells good even though it's dirt water.
It's hazelnut.
Hazelnut dirt water. Mm-hmm. Is that what I'm smelling?
Yes, hazelnut dirt water. It's Moccona. It's delicious, but Erin's a coffee snob.
So I'm a coffee snob. I don't have instant. In fact, do you know what we did on this trip that we did?
What? Did you have instant coffee?
No, God. My delightful husband went online and ordered coffee paraphernalia. So we had a portable coffee grinder and a portable espresso shot maker so that we could have nice coffee on our trip.
Oh my gosh.
And he had like a little set of scales so he could weigh the 18 grams of beans that go into the coffee grinder.
You took scales with you on a road trip around Australia. That is insanity.
It is insanity, but you know, it was really nice that we woke up in the Nullarbor Roadhouse where you couldn't get like nice coffee and you could make yourself coffee. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and he's now taking it to work, so he's using it at work.
So my husband will benefit.
Yeah, if Chris is willing to make him a coffee. Anyway, we've libelled on for a few minutes.
And we're doing that because we're talking about something really boring today. And we don't want to do it.
No, we don't want to do it. But it is important to talk about.
It is.
And that's insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Insurance, it's so boring. And it's not like an area of expertise.
Yeah, we know what we know because we have insurance and we run markets. We can't really talk about... We don't
work in insurance.
We don't, and we can't talk about all the kinds of insurance that, you know, creative businesses can have or should have, or where they should source this insurance from.
We can give suggestions and ideas, but I think
we don't have a specific recommendation either way.
We see a lot of different insurance policies come through. Like we see who other people use. So, but definitely if you are running a small business, you need insurance. And if you are running a small business and you don't have insurance, and this is your reminder to go and look into this.
It's not about like making you feel scared. And getting insurance shouldn't be about fear. It should be about like peace of mind.
Yeah. It should be a reassurance.
Exactly. Oh, I like that.
I thought you might.
But yeah, we always recommend like do your own research, engage an insurance broker where appropriate. But like what we're going to be doing is talking kind of like more broad strokes today about why you need insurance and, you know, like just the type of insurance that you need.
Yeah.
And especially coming to our markets, the kind of insurance that you are required to have when you come to our markets.
Well, not even just our markets, any market. If you are out in the world representing a business, you need insurance. Even if you're not asked for insurance, you should have insurance anyway to protect yourself.
Yes. Have you ever had to make an insurance claim?
Yeah, I have, a couple. So we've had incidents that have happened at markets where like stuff has been damaged or someone's been injured. Luckily, no insurance claims due to injury, but because of damaged property. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I guess we want to talk about the importance of understanding the risks of your specific business type.
Yeah.
Before you dive into what insurance you need to kind of do a bit of a risk assessment.
Yes. And if you're not sure what that should entail, and you're like really off put by this kind of thing, like talk to other people in your industry and ask them, like, have they looked into this before? What are the things that you need to think about? I mean, for us, we're considered low risk in the majority of what we do is low risk. We're not setting off fireworks. We don't have bouncy castles. In the instances where we do have like a bouncy castle provider, they have their own insurance. So, and then we do our due diligence to make sure we get a copy of their certificate of currency saying that, yes, they do have insurance and their product, like they're covered for whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah. So, Erin, let's start back to the basics. What is business insurance really for?
It's to protect you. It is to protect you. And it doesn't matter what size your business is, it's something that you should have in place. So obviously, like where we're at now in our business, it's grown a lot. This is the 10th year. It's the 10th anniversary of being in business.
I know.
Which is super weird for me to think about. But from the very beginning, I had to have insurance in place to protect me, because otherwise, like if something goes wrong, you're personally liable as well. I mean, that is also something to consider in terms of the way that you structure your business. Did you know that if you're a sole trader and something goes wrong and they sue you, your personal things are liable as well?
I did, because I'm a lawyer.
Yes.
By trade. So I'm very aware of that, but I don't think a lot of people realize that they can be personally responsible for a lot of their business problems.
Yeah, and so having insurance in place, that's, going to give you a lot of protection and peace of mind. Do you want further protection and peace of mind? You go down the route of looking at like structuring your business as a company or a corporation, or having it go through a trust or something like that. But that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, so from the very beginning, I needed insurance, not just for like the events that we hold, but also for like we have stuff and stuff breaks or gets stolen or buildings can collapse or, things happen.
And you have staff and staff lift heavy things and injure themselves.
Yes. And then should make claims on workers' compensation. We're talking about this because Ronnie did do this and should have made a workers' compensation claim, but she chose not to.
Yeah, I just too much mental energy to do that. I was actually recommended not to, because...
Oh, really?
Yeah, by the doctor. He's like, honestly, it's just more... Like, you've got private health insurance. It covers you.
I remember your husband reaching out to me at the time when this all happened. So Ronnie lifted something by herself that was too heavy for one person to lift. And she did it the wrong way. And she hurt her back. So she ultimately ended up having to have surgery.
Yeah.
Your back's lots better now.
I was in bed for like a month. Yeah.
And so I remember Justin reaching out. So I was like, here's all the information. Let me know what you want to do, workers' compensation claim. But I'm surprised that they told you not to do it.
It's just because I had private health.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have claimed for is loss of income. And I wasn't working that much. And he's like, it would have been a lot to have to constantly declare it on every single form you ever have for the rest of your life for a month's worth of income.
Yeah.
He's like, just leave it. So yeah, we just decided it was too hard, pa.
But then the other thing is that you can have workers' compensation insurance for your own business for yourself. What happens if you injure yourself at a market and you're like unable to work? Or for example, maybe you're a hairdresser and you're curling hair and the irons burn you.
Yeah.
Like, and your hand doesn't work.
And you have a chemical burn.
You get a chemical burn and you're solo employed and all of a sudden you can't work. What are you going to do? So you can have workers' compensation insurance for yourself as a sole trader.
Yeah, and income protection insurance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different kinds of insurance. We'll touch on some of them today, but depending on what your business is and what your kind of setup is, you might need different ones. So I know like something like professional indemnity insurance is not exactly something that I think most small businesses will need, because you're not all small creative businesses will need, because you're not necessarily offering a service to someone that can cause someone else a lot of damage. So
yeah, and even then the amount of insurance you need is going to be different depending on what kind of business it is that you're doing. So when we and the thing to bear in mind with this conversation is that it's a conversation. It is not formal insurance advice. Please remember that. This is not us giving you advice. This is just a conversation to get you to think about the topic. But when we first started out, I didn't have professional indemnity insurance. I wasn't providing consulting services. As the business grew, as the business changed, I did need professional indemnity insurance. But then the amount that I'm going to get sued for giving somebody the wrong advice around what to post on social media or what to do for space activation, like I'm not going to get sued for $20 million, right? Yeah. So the amount of coverage I need is significantly lower than other businesses.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So while we're just on it, let's briefly discuss certain types of insurance.
Sure.
So the main one that, as someone who comes to markets and sells products, not just as someone who comes to markets, but someone who potentially sells products, even small products, is public liability insurance.
Yeah. So this is for anything that you are doing where members of the public are in attendance. So this would also be like if you're running workshops or education, either at a venue or at your home. There's potential that a member of the public is going to get injured, and so you want public liability insurance. So attending events within WA specifically, local law, and the local law is different from one council area to another, but local law says you need a minimum of $10 million policy coverage. So when you are doing your research, make sure that whatever it is that you're getting quoted on, it's a minimum of coverage for whatever it is that your local law dictates. And so I can say in Perth, everyone is a minimum of 10 million. Our policy coverage is 20 because as an event organizer, we are required to have a higher level of insurance coverage. And then that also changes if you are a food business. If you are a food business, selling pre-made food versus selling food that is cooked on site, that is different again. So it's really important that you do your research and you really know what it is that you're going to be doing, and that you also review it on a regular basis, because as your business grows, as your business changes, what you're offering is going to change, and therefore what you're required to have for insurance is going to change as well.
Yes. And so in terms of coming to markets, you can often actually get insurance from the market organizers. Like we actually let people we exclude certain categories, which I'll let Erin get into because she knows it like the back of her hand. But generally, if you come to a market, you can actually buy insurance as like a one-off from the market organizers.
It depends on the organization though.
Yeah, from us you can.
From us you can.
Yeah.
And that's because the policy that I have with our insurance provider allows us to cover our store holders as part of that insurance policy in the way that it's underwritten. Not all organizations will have that. And generally what they'll do is they'll charge you a small fee, and that helps just to pay the cost of that insurance. So it's like, it's not a money-making grab by the organizer. It's really just to help pay for the cost of the insurance. It's just so that you are actually covered. Yeah, because that type of coverage, it's more expensive. But you can also get things like one-off insurance coverage for one day, or you can get a policy for 3 months. Our general recommendation is that if you're going to go to more than one event a year, get your own policy. So for example, our coverage, I think it's like $35 or $40 a market for a storeholder to get covered under our policy. Whereas most public liability insurance, if you're getting like a $10 million coverage, it's like a few $100s a year. It's not astronomical.
Yeah, it's not an exceptionally expensive thing to get.
No, and so by the time that you're doing 5 markets, like you're better off buying your own policy. And then it can be really specific to what it is that you do as well.
Sorry, it's taking a coffee break.
Oh, how dare you.
So public liability insurance we just discussed. What about something like product liability insurance? So this is kind of important for makers. And from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong because you'd know more about this, but does often product liability insurance get included in public liability insurance?
It can. Yeah, very much it can. There are certain products that definitely it won't. And that is things like food, pet and animal consumables. I'm not 100% sure about pet and animal accessories in terms of things like leaves and collars, but anything that is consumed by another living organism, like it's a living organism, like we're living, I mean we are living organisms, but like anything that is consumed, whether it's a drink or food item, that won't be, because there are certain requirements that you have to meet, like regulatory requirements that you have to declare. That's also the same case for children's toys. Definitely children's toys and beauty products.
Yeah, skincare as well. Yeah, because I can imagine that can create.
Yeah, and so there's like, depending on what level of things you're wanting to go down, there's like testing and things for certain types of products, not necessarily to obtain insurance, but to get like particular labels put on things. You have to go through product testing and stuff like that. So I remember when I was making and selling children's toys, for me to get product liability insurance, it did kick up the price of my insurance quite a lot. And then if I wanted to get that lowered, I would have had to take all of my product through that testing process, because then I would have been able to provide certification that it met the Australian, New Zealand regulatory standards for making toys. So it's those ANZ code numbers for testing that then help lower those costs. But like our insurance does cover products as well. So we have a comprehensive policy for event organization, and it does public liability and product liability, including our store holders, with the exception of those specific categories for our policy.
So if you take out just public liability insurance, that just includes injury for if someone hurts themselves, like in your store, right?
Not just injury, but also like if there's damages. So for example, there was an event where a gazebo got blown in a high wind situation into another person's vehicle. And so there was damage to the vehicle, there was damage to the gazebo. Thankfully, no one was injured, but that public liability insurance also comes into play in that situation. So you want to like record everything as much as possible when you're making a claim. So like we have incident report forms and all that sort of thing. We then provide all of this information to our insurance provider, who will then get in contact with the insurance provider of anyone else who's involved. And then the insurance companies go away and they sort it all out. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And so moving on from that, something like contents or equipment insurance.
Yeah.
That is, again, separate.
That is a separate insurance policy.
Yeah.
So some places will call it like business insurance. So like ours is called a business insurance policy. And that business insurance policy will cover all of our equipment wherever it is stored. If we have long-term storage, we do have to declare where it's stored. And then for like high ticket items, you do want to have those sorts of things individually listed as well. So that's things like, for us, laptops. Like they're often the most expensive.
In case a staff member accidentally spills their water all over one, which definitely did happen.
Yes. So we now have please have a lid on on your water bottle.
Near any devices.
Near your device. So definitely that was very handy, because it meant that like we could just get the laptop replaced without having to worry too much about it. And I could just say, look, it's okay.
She was so worried.
She was so stressed about it at the time. Felt really bad.
She'd only been with us for like, what, a year?
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
No, not that long. And yeah, we felt really bad for her. Poor doll.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why you have insurance. And that's the first thing Erin says. Like, hey, I've got insurance.
We've
Don't
got
worry
insurance.
about
It's okay. It was a bit of a faff and a bit of a pain, but you know what? It was okay. We got a new laptop and everything was fine. Yeah.
So the other thing that Erin touched on before is income protection insurance.
Oh, to be fair, you brought that up.
Did I?
You did.
Oh, I'm so...
Want to know something?
So clever.
I don't have income protection insurance.
Neither do we, and we should. We've got a little bit as part of our superannuation, but like, no, we need more.
Chris has income protection insurance. I don't think it covers all of his income. I think it's been a really long time.
It's like 80%, isn't it?
No, I think it was like based on whatever he was earning at the time. He took out the policy and he's been given some raises since then. But yeah, I mean, we talked about income protection insurance and decided at the time that, we didn't need to worry about that for me at the time when we were starting everything out and everything. It was, I didn't earn enough. I didn't earn money from the business for, a while. But the minute that you start paying yourself a wage, that's something that you want to consider, especially because what happens if, you are in an incident and you are in a vegetative state or you pass away. Like those are horrible things to consider, but if it can happen.
Yeah. And it has happened to people, and the people who it has happened to thought it could never happen to me. Like everyone thinks that this horrible thing won't happen to them, and every person who's had a horrible thing happen to them had that same thought. So, I mean, that's literally what insurance is for.
Yeah.
If especially the people who listen to this, they own their small businesses, they're creatives, their income is entirely dependent on them working. And so if you are relying on that income and if you get injured, you cannot do that, then you need to get income protection insurance.
Yeah. Especially because it's something that you don't think about in terms of who it impacts as well, because if something was to happen to me, yes, it impacts me in that maybe I'm not around anymore or I have to be in care, but then there's a flow-on effect that goes to my husband and to my kids, and they're going to need income to help look after this situation. Like when we were younger, it would have involved things like maybe childcare, that maybe wasn't in the budget or whatever. So I mean, everybody's different, and I know that there've been definite times where we talk about it and we go, well, I don't earn enough, it's not really worth insuring me, we'll probably pay more in insurance than it's actually worth. But then there comes a point in time where that conversation shifts and you go, well, actually no, my business has value. What happens to the business if I'm not here tomorrow or whatever?
Stop. So Erin, how do storeholders and creative businesses figure out what they need?
I am a big fan of going online and doing research. So definitely pop online into a search engine that will give you a variety of results. Don't make decisions based off what AI tells you, especially things like Google AI Overview. That's really not a great place to start.
Because AI we'll talk about this on another podcast, but just while we're on this topic, AI is increasingly incorrect because it is starting to eat itself, because it has consumed all the information that is digitized that human beings have, and now it is starting to consume its own information, which is often incorrect, which means that over time
it just gets worse.
It's going to get more and more wrong. So just keep that in mind when you're asking it questions.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to insurance, because it doesn't, a lot of people I don't think understands fundamentally that AI doesn't look at the information, consider the information, and then gives you the information.
It just spits
AI
it out.
thinks as it works. So every word it puts down, then it thinks about the next word to put down. So it doesn't always have the accurate information. It gets basic things wrong.
Yeah.
So don't rely on it to do your research. Do your own research. Do your own risk assessment.
And then also look for industry bodies that maybe are within your industry and see if they have any blog topics on this, or look for any kind of insurance specialists who work within your industry. So if you're a hairdresser, is there a hairdressing insurance provider? I work in markets. There is a market insurance provider. It's called My Market Insurance. So I went and looked at them, and then I did a ring around to other insurance companies, and there are so many different insurance companies out there. But best thing to do is maybe talk to an insurance broker. They exist for a reason. In the same way that you go to a mortgage broker to get advice on what mortgage works best for you, go to an insurance broker to get insurance advice.
And you don't pay for an insurance broker. It gets paid for not out of your pocket. It gets paid for as a kind of a commission of the insurance that you pay. So they do get paid.
I will say though, what we pay in insurance now that we are using an insurance broker, it is a higher rate of insurance. What we pay for insurance is it would be cheaper if I went and did all this work myself. If I went directly to those places. But whenever I have a question about insurance, I can go and ask my insurance broker, and it doesn't cost me anything extra to ask them a question.
Yes.
They are there to hold my hand and give me advice and guide me on the path of like, what kind of insurance do I need?
And the extra time that you save in engaging an insurance broker probably covers that like minor increase in the actual insurance.
Yeah,
premiums,
like for me, it definitely is worth having the insurance broker. Like, yeah, sure, maybe I'd save a couple $1,000s. But I mean, we spend like a ridiculous amount of money on insurance because of the way that we run business now. But like the couple $1,000s I would save in those insurance fees, if I was to look at what I would pay myself as an hourly rate and the amount of hours I would have to spend doing all this research myself, and then still not being 100% comfortable and confident in my own decisions, because that's the kind of person I am, go to a broker.
Yeah. Peace of mind.
Yeah.
And the other thing to keep in mind is to make sure that your insurance grows with your business. Like Erin said before, we were talking about, income protection, but this applies to all kinds of insurances. You need to revisit this in the same way that you revisit your business plan, in the same way that you would revisit any sort of expenses, like your website expenses. You need to look at this again and again, because you might not even realize that your business has changed and that the insurance that you got 3-4 years ago is no longer suitable until it's too late. Because being underinsured can be even worse than being uninsured, because then you've paid the money but you don't get the benefits. So
well, and then also things like in certain cases you need to have written what it is that you do. It doesn't necessarily change the cost of what you're paying for, but say, for example, we now run a podcast which provides advice, and somebody decides they want to sue us. If I don't have that written on my professional indemnity insurance,
it's not covered by your insurance.
It's not covered. So like, it's things like that not all policies require it. So it really is dependent on what kind of insurance you have, but you do need to go and look at all these things.
Yes, absolutely. So I think that's pretty much all we wanted to discuss today. Like we can go into more detail as you can with any topic.
Yeah.
But I think what we ultimately want you to take home from this or take away from this or take home, I don't know, do what you want with it, is that insurance is peace of mind, not panic, right?
Yeah, 100%. Don't freak out about insurance. It is there to protect you. And if you aren't confident, go and find an expert.
And we'll encourage everyone listening, if you've got insurance, just go check that insurance policy right now.
Yeah. And make sure it's current, make sure it's up to date.
Just go check on it.
Make sure your business name is correct on it. If you haven't changed it, all those sorts of things.
Yes.
But this brings us nicely to the end of the episode, where we do a creative business shout out.
Yeah.
Creative business spotlight, I should say.
Yeah.
So,
we'll remember the name of this creative business spotlight eventually, because I feel like every episode one of us gets it wrong.
That's okay. It just makes us human.
Yeah, I know. So our shout out, or our spotlight, is on Elia, Balms and Blends, who are very long-term market goers who we absolutely love. It's run by Mia and Jane, and they sell these amazing handmade eco-friendly body products like lip balms and soaps, perfumes. And unfortunately, because of health issues, they are taking a step back from markets, which means we really want you to encourage to go have a look on their website.
They are still selling online, and this is where it's really important to remember to have more than one avenue to bring you income, because once again, life happens. But they are a fantastic business. We absolutely love working with them. And not only are they great to work with, wonderful, genuine human beings, but their products are really fabulous as well. I love their lip balm.
Good products.
Yeah.
Like, I always have at least 3 or 4 of the items in my house
somewhere. Or in multiple places. Like I've got, on my desk and on my bedside table and all that sort of thing. So Elia Balms and Blends. Go and check them out. We will tag them in the show notes.
Yes. And with that, we will say goodbye.
And we will catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Creative Business Community Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and join our community online. Until next time, keep creating, keep learning, and keep building that business you love.